It was a chilly autumn afternoon, and the streets were bustling with people in their hurried routines. Among them was a young boy, no more than 12 years old, with tattered clothes and worn-out sneakers. His stomach growled quietly, reminding him that he hadn't eaten since morning. Life hadn't been kind to him, and yet, there was something in his eyes, a spark that refused to fade, a kindness that shone brighter than his own hardships. As he walked past a busy corner store, a leather wallet slipped from someone's pocket and fell onto the sidewalk, unnoticed by its owner. The boy's heart raced. He had seen people drop things before and take them without a second thought. He could have used whatever was inside to buy a warm meal or a small treat. But instead, something deeper inside him stirred. He picked up the wallet, feeling the weight of a choice that could change everything, for better or worse. Before we dive deeper, I want to remind you to subscribe to Kindness Story Hub, give this video a like if it warms your heart, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's spread the power of kindness together. The wallet was surprisingly heavy for its size. The boy opened it cautiously, half expecting it to be empty. But inside, there were stacks of cash, some credit cards, and a few personal papers. For a moment, he froze. Hunger gnawed at him, and he imagined how that money could buy a week's worth of meals. He could finally get a warm jacket, maybe even a pair of new shoes. Yet, as he glanced around, he realized that taking it would betray something inside him that he had learned from the tiny lessons life had given him. He didn't know the man who owned the wallet, but he knew what was right. Clutching the leather tightly, he ran after the man, who was now halfway down the street, oblivious to his loss. "Sir! Sir!" the boy shouted, his voice trembling but determined. The man turned, confusion written across his face. "You dropped this," the boy said, holding out the wallet. The man blinked, stunned. He looked from the boy to the wallet, and then back at the boy. "You returned this?" he asked, incredulous. "Yes, sir," the boy said simply, brushing a strand of messy hair from his face. "I thought it was the right thing to do." For a moment, the man didn't move. Then, slowly, a smile spread across his face. "Most people wouldn't have done what you just did," he said. "Most people would have kept it. But you have an honesty and courage that is rare." The boy felt a warmth in his chest, but he didn't expect what came next. The man reached into his coat and pulled out a small envelope. "I want you to have this," he said, pressing it into the boy's hands. The envelope was thick, heavier than the wallet itself. "It's not just money," the man explained. "It's a little help for someone who deserves it." Tears welled up in the boy's eyes as he opened it. Inside was enough money to cover meals, school supplies, and even a small coat for the coming winter. But there was more, a note that read, "Kindness is always noticed. Keep it in your heart, and it will take you further than you can imagine." The boy stood there, speechless, as the man walked away. He couldn't believe what had just happened. The act of returning a wallet, something so small to some, had changed his life in ways he never imagined. It was as if the universe had noticed his honesty and decided to reward it. As the days passed, the boy's life slowly began to change. With the money from the envelope, he could afford school supplies, attend after-school programs, and even help his younger sister with her homework. But more importantly, he carried the memory of that encounter in his heart. It wasn't the money that mattered most, it was the validation that doing the right thing, even when no one is watching, could lead to unexpected blessings. One afternoon, as he walked home from school, he noticed a neighbor struggling with grocery bags. Without hesitation, he ran over and offered to help. She looked at him, surprised at first, but then smiled warmly. "Thank you, young man," she said. It's rare to see such thoughtfulness these days. The boy realized something profound. Kindness wasn't just about grand gestures or big rewards. It was in the small, everyday actions, the moments when you chose honesty, compassion, or patience over selfishness. Each small act had a ripple effect, touching lives in ways he couldn't even see. The story of the boy and the wallet soon spread through the community. People who witnessed his integrity were inspired. Neighbors started volunteering together, children helped the elderly, and a culture of care and compassion began to grow. The boy never sought recognition, he simply understood the quiet power of kindness. And in return, the world seemed to offer him more opportunities, more support, and more warmth than he had ever known. Years later, that same boy, now a young man, stood outside the very corner store where it all began. He watched as a child, no older than he had been that day, picked up a wallet that had fallen from a distracted shopper. The young man's heart skipped a beat. He saw the hesitation, the temptation, and then the courage in the child's eyes. Stepping forward, he spoke gently, "You dropped this. Here, it belongs to someone else." The child looked up, eyes wide, and nodded. In that moment, the young man understood that kindness wasn't a single act, it was a chain, a legacy that could stretch across generations. Every time someone chose honesty over greed, compassion over indifference, the world became a little brighter, a little warmer. Reflecting on his journey, he realized that the reward he received that day wasn't just money. It was the knowledge that integrity, even in the face of hardship, always matters. It was the understanding that the smallest actions could ignite the biggest changes. And it was the joy of knowing that he could inspire others to do the same. The boy who once had nothing but a spark of kindness in his heart had grown into a man who carried that light into the world, illuminating paths for others. He had learned a lesson many never do, that life may test you, but your choices define you, and kindness always finds a way to return. And so, the story continues. Every day, in cities and towns across the country, there are children and adults making choices that might seem small but are monumental in their impact. The wallet incident is a reminder that no act of honesty or generosity is ever wasted. Sometimes, the world surprises you when you least expect it, rewarding not what you take, but what you give. If we all lived a little more like that boy, imagine the world we could create. A world where kindness is not rare, but contagious, where honesty is a currency more valuable than gold, where a simple act of compassion could change someone's life forever. So the next time you see an opportunity to help, to return, or to care, remember this story. Remember the poor kid who returned a wallet, who got back more than he could have dreamed. And remember that the world always has a way of noticing those who choose goodness over selfishness, love over indifference, and action over hesitation, because in the end, kindness isn't just a moment, it's a legacy. And it all starts with a choice. Thank you for watching this heartwarming story on Kindness Story Hub. If this touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with someone who could use a little inspiration today. And subscribe to our channel to hear more stories that remind us that even the smallest acts of kindness can change the world. Remember, your choices matter, your actions ripple, and your kindness can come back to you in ways you never imagined.